Alright lads, welcome back to another Enlisted squad review. Today we're taking a look at the Battle for Moscow Panzer IV-E squad. This is a premium tanker squad, as you may have guessed, only available for the German team in the Battle of Moscow campaign. To unlock it, you're going to have to pay a very big price of 6,100 golden eagles, or guide, I don't even know what it's called, enlisted gold. This translates into real money at around 60 euros or dollars, and is the enlisted equivalent of the top tier premium in, say, War Thunder. This is certainly one of the most powerful premiums currently in Enlisted, which is why I'm guessing Gaijin have given it such a high price tag. Anyway, this squad comes with the tank, as you may have guessed, as well as 5 crew members. All of the crew members are tankers, and are all level 4. For those of you who are unaware, a stock crew will have no qualifications or skill sets, but premium squads tend to get ranked for squad members, and which naturally gives them quite a lot of perks straight off the back. The Panzer IV squad, with every member of your tank you get a 45% speed of gear shift. This basically increases the mobility of the tank a little bit compared to the tech tree equivalent. We also have the improved targeting skills of a tank gun. This basically increases the good turret traverse rate basically. It means the gunner gets onto target a little bit faster. Again, it's a nice thing to have, but not a huge advantage. We also have a 30% speed of changing seat in a vehicle. This is good if you get damaged and quickly need to swap a crew member into another seat. And because this tank squad has 5 crew members and you only really need 2 to operate the tank fully in this game, the tank is fairly survivable, but we'll get onto that later. For some reason we also have a 100% health regeneration outside of combat. This isn't useful at all in my opinion, because you are going to be in combat in the tank. You're not really going to be outside the tank, so it's kind of useless. What certainly isn't useless though is the changing the type of ammunition without losing reload progress. This is great if you quickly want to change your ammunition type, say you're shooting high explosive but then an enemy tank comes around the corner. You need to quickly change to armor piercing. It basically means that your reload isn't interrupted by swapping of the ammunition. This is one of the most overpowered perks in Enlisted in my opinion, and certainly makes this squad very, very strong. What isn't strong though is the crew members' stock loadout. So when you first unlock this squad, your crew members will all come with a knife, a toolkit, and a Mauser C96 with 50 rounds of ammunition in total. Now obviously, if you are outside the tank and having to fight just with your pistol, something has gone very wrong with your choices in that battle. And while you are very weak outside the tank, I think you actually do play this tank properly. It is probably the most overpowered premium squad, certainly in the Battle with Moscow, if not the entire game. But let's talk a little bit more about the tank itself. It's the Panzer IV-E. The Panzer IV was originally designed for troop support. It was an infantry support weapon. The Panzer IIIs were the dedicated anti-tank vehicles. Instead, the Panzer IVs were typically armed, at least the early models, with large caliber but relatively low velocity guns. So the vehicle that we get in game is armed with the 75mm KWK-37. It's basically a 3-inch howitzer, although it obviously doesn't fire in trajectile arcs. The gun comes with 2 types of ammunition in Enlisted. You have armor piercing APC-BC, as well as heat, or high explosive anti-tank. The armor piercing is pretty good against some of the Soviet earlier tanks, but with the recently introduced Soviet T-34, it does struggle quite a bit. Thankfully though, you do have that heat round. This will pretty much be the only round that you will fire in this tank, for one very important reason. Because Gaijin doesn't really know how to code, I guess, they've made it so that the heat round basically acts like a high explosive, and have given it far too much blast damage. This means it is great for killing infantry. Obviously in real life, this is not how heat works. It is a shaped charge that directs the chemical energy in a certain direction for penetration, but in Enlisted, it has a huge blast area. This means you have one type of ammunition, the heat round, that is highly effective against both infantry and enemy fighting vehicles. For this reason, I load heat at the start of a game and fire nothing but heat. It's this reason that this tank is considered so overpowered, because it has both a great anti-infantry and anti-tank capability. But there are some weaknesses of this vehicle, mainly its armor protection. Being an early Panzer IV, it basically has slab armor that isn't too thick. The lower frontal plate is the thickest single slab of armor at 50mm thick, while the upper frontal plate does have 2 sets of armor plate. One was bolted on afterwards as an afterthought, but it does increase the thickness. The first plate is 30mm thick, and the second plate, or the one that was welded on top, is also 30mm thick, probably giving it around 50 to 60mm of actual armor protection. While this certainly is workable if you are angling, it isn't going to protect you against pretty much all of the anti-tank weapons in Enlisted. So while this tank does have very, very good offensive capabilities, when it comes to defense, it's pretty bad. But if you stay at the back of the map and don't push too far forward past your infantry support, you're damn near unkillable. And finally, for the armor protection, your gun mantlet is only 35mm thick. But as I said, there's not one part of this tank which will be able to prevent penetration from a Soviet anti-tank gun or an actual tank weapon itself. So the armor of this thing is pretty redundant. So I guess there's only one thing left to say. Should you buy this tank? Well, if you're interested in the meta, then it is a 5 out of 5 really. It basically is the meta in the Battle of Moscow campaign if you do actually want to play tanks. As I said, it kills infantry and tanks with ease, and although it is vulnerable, particularly towards enemy tanks and Soviet air power, if you play it right and stay a little bit back, keeping out of harm's way, you can easily get over 100 kill games in this bad boy. Is it good value for money? Well, I can't really answer that myself. It's up to you how you spend your own money. Spending $60 on any game isn't really advisable in my opinion. I'd say that if you have the money to spend and want a very powerful tank to grind out the Battle of Moscow, then this is the thing you are looking for 100%. But if you're just a casual player and you don't really have 60 euros to just throw away on a whim, I'd say maybe wait for a sale. But this tank definitely is the most powerful premium squad, or one of the most powerful in the game without a doubt. And you can easily carry a German team on the Battle of Moscow. So I obviously did buy this tank. I do have quite a lot of games in it, I play it quite a lot. It's a good grinder. It's not very balanced, but it does get you a lot of kills. So yeah, it's a great tank, but it's up to you guys how you spend your own money. If you like the video guys, please do consider leaving a like and subscribing, and be sure to let me know down below what you guys thought about the video. Finally, if you really love the channel, consider becoming a channel member, like our newest members Nelly, Wolfyfly and Joseph Metcalf, as well as long-time members Tomster013, Biff Webster, Tomato Salad, Just Someone, Dr. Bob, The Boa LX, Tans, William Tessier and Lola Alfonsi. Thank you very much for watching lads, and I'll see you in the next video.